Hello, welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK. I've just bought these 3 huge olive trees. I bought them from Costco, of all places, but I nearly didn't buy them because Costco don't deliver, and I was nearly put off by the fact that I wouldn't be able to transport them. How would I get 3 olive trees home? In fact, if I bought one, how would I get one home for that matter? So that was the problem. And I came up with a solution, and I wanted to share the solution with you because it's actually not difficult nowadays to find a way of moving a large plant. But there are some points that I would say you really should bear in mind before you go about the task. So let me explain in several short steps how I went about finding a way to move not just 1, but 3 of these very large olive trees. And I've just done another video, by the way, where I've explained why I've bought these olive trees, and it's because I'm creating an olive grove in my garden, but that's for another series of videos. In this one I just want to talk to you about how easy it is really to transport large items. It doesn't have to be a tree, it could be a grand piano, and the same rules would apply. So the first thing we did was we went on Facebook and we searched for a man with a van. So I haven't got a van, I can't lift that on my own, so I went looking for a man with a van and then messaged one that came up, and the one we chose, and I'm so pleased that we found this person, was Jagger Moves. He's a guy called Mike and his company is called Jagger Movers, and it's got the moves like Jagger, so it's a kind of a pun based on that song. It's quite clever. And you meet these people and you send them messages, and you kind of think, well, who can I trust? Well, we went with Jagger Moves because there's quite a lot of favourable reviews and quite a lot of favourable posts. So I'd say that was the first tip, is look at the reviews. Find someone who's got good reviews. Jagger Movers had fantastic reviews. Then replied to the message very promptly. So we sent a message and we got a reply very quickly and very professionally, but wasn't fully available. So I think that's another tip, isn't it? If you've got someone who's fully available all the time, then that might not be the best choice. It was clear that Jagger Movers was quite busy doing other work for other people, and I thought, well, that's quite an endorsement really. He was a going concern. The next thing is they don't want paying up front. And I think if somebody was to ask me for money up front, I think that would be a red flag. Jagger Movers don't want paying up front. And then the next thing was about how they were able to communicate and talk about the issue. Now, moving companies generally move house for people. They're not generally in the business of moving 3 big olive trees. We started off thinking we were only going to buy 1. And Jagger Movers were quite happy to move 1. Then we added the other 2 into the mix. And their attitude was perfect. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. So Jagger Movers were very helpful. Now, I'm sorry to say this, but I don't always trust people. And actually, I don't know if I need to apologise, because perhaps you shouldn't always trust people. I was going to trust someone to go and collect these from Costco in Chester, put £1,200 worth of olive trees in the back of their van and bring them to me. And I thought, I'm a bit worried about that. Sometimes you've got to trust people, but then I'm thinking, can I trust this person who I've never met before with £1,200 worth of my plants? So I did make the decision to go and meet Jagger Movers at Costco and kind of supervise the collection. I wanted to be there anyway because I wanted to make sure that we were getting the 3 that we'd bought. So I arranged to meet Jagger Movers at the place where they were being collected from. I have to say, the communication was excellent. That was another big green tick in the box. They arrived early, they arrived before me, and they waited patiently in the car park for me to arrive so that I could get involved and do my control freak thing. Mike said to me, what's the plan? Well, there wasn't really a plan. I had to go and ask Costco how they were going to do it, but they were very flexible. So you need someone who's going to be flexible. Costco were excellent. I have to say, they got them out off the shop floor and they'd got them waiting in the wings, and they asked me where we wanted them, and we agreed it would be best if they were taken to the back door. So we drove round to the back door, and by the time we got there, they were at the back door waiting for us, and there was several people at the back door with a forklift truck there to help us get those into the van. Right, now here's where it got slightly interesting, and here's where you can fall foul. First thing is, check the weight. Make sure that the delivery van that is coming can carry the weight. In our case, we were okay. The weight of the olive trees was just about okay for the size of van. Then you need to make sure that you get a van with a tail lift, because how's that going to go from floor level to van level? Now, if you're at Costco and they've got a forklift truck, they can help you, but Costco do not allow you to keep the pallets. So how do you get that off a pallet onto a truck? Well, if there's a forklift, they can lift the pallet up and you can push it off. But it's much better if there's a tail lift on the back of your van, and that's one of the things that Jagger movers have got on their van. Now, bear in mind that most people do not let you keep the pallets because they get charged for pallets, and Costco told me that if I took the pallets, they'd get charged £20 per pallet. It was those blue pallets. In actual fact, in fairness to Costco, they said they would allow me to take them if I really needed to, but I didn't need to. And there's a reason why I didn't bring the pallets away with me, and that is because the height of the tree. Now, I know it's obvious, and I know I'm teaching people how to suck eggs, but you've got to take account of the height of the tree, including the pallet if you're keeping the pallet, up to where it doesn't flex. Now, just about got away with a box luton because the top flexes. So we were able to get it onto the tail lift and then push it in and gently flex the top in. So do be aware that it's not just about the height inside the van, it's about the height of the aperture. Because very often these vans have an aperture that big and the height inside is much higher, but you've got to get it through that aperture. We got these in by carefully bending the tops over, but be aware of the weight and the height when you're moving them. Obviously, be careful with your back. These are big lumps and you can quite easily injure yourself, so always keep a mind on health and safety. Now, when I got these home, I then had the problem of getting them out of the van. And what we did was we rotated and slid them, rotate and slide, and they moved because you've got a bit of leverage if you're rotating. And then when I got them down onto the grass, I lay some planks down, some pieces of wood, which we could slide them onto, almost like a ramp. If I was to get them onto that grass, I'd never move them again. But by putting them on pieces of timber, I'll be able to slide them. And I'm quite confident with two of us, we'll be able to slide and rotate those trunks into the position that they will ultimately be going to in this new olive grove that I'm creating. So there we go. I'll put Jagger Movers details in the description box below this video. They do national work. It's not just in my area, but if you are in my area, which is Nantwich and Crewe, I would highly recommend them. I've given them a 5-star review already. I'd give them a 6-star review if I could. Mike couldn't have done more for us. He put his back into it, solved all the problems, and here we are with 3 wonderful new olive trees. So there we go. Some tips on how to move big plants if you haven't got your own van. Get a man with a van. I'll see you soon for some more olive tree adventures. Bye for now.